Just when Ashton thought his Diddy-related drama would fade away in 2022, honey, he's in for the shock of his life. Diddy's former bodyguard just dropped a bombshell, exposing all the dirt about how deep Ashton was really involved with Diddy. And let me tell you, when I say your jaws are going to drop, I mean it. Like, we all thought Ashton was just living it up at those wild parties, right? Wrong. According to Gene, there's so much more beneath the surface. And here's where it gets absolutely chilling. Remember when Ashton's thin girlfriend passed away under those mysterious circumstances? Well, guess what? It happened just like Diddy's girlfriend Kim Porter. If you think that's suspicious, honey, buckle up because there's so much more insanity coming your way. Let's break this down because it is wild. Looking back, it's not shocking at all that Ashton's getting exposed for some seriously shady business, especially considering how tight he and Diddy were for years. Their friendship started way back in the early 2000s when Ashton was running his hit show Punk'd on MTV. Get this, Ashton had this crazy idea to prank Diddy while he was busy searching for the next big thing on Making the Band. But Diddy wasn't having any of it. He reached out to Ashton directly, told him to drop the whole thing, and Ashton actually respected it. And would you believe that one little exchange turned into this huge friendship?
I gave him a call one day and I said, I heard that you are going to punk me, and I just don't think that's a good idea. I
kind of don't think that that's the way you said it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, then you tell the story.
I'm pretty sure that's not the way you said it. I don't think that's a good idea. Is that what you said?
Fast forward a few years, and honey, Ashton and Diddy were living their absolute best lives together. Diddy was seriously obsessed with Ashton. I mean, the love and respect were real. When Ashton made it onto Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People list, Diddy was right there, front and center, showering him with praise. He literally said, "Kutcher is a sounding board for me. Like me, he's a mogul, a new media mogul, but we are yin and yang. I am in your face, but he is understated, cool, swag." But here's the tea. It wasn't actually surprising when Ashton became one of the first celebrities to dump Diddy after everything came out. People started connecting the dots, and it didn't take a genius to figure out why Ashton disappeared faster than my last paycheck. He was clearly trying to avoid attention because, honey, his own past isn't exactly squeaky clean. Speaking of sketchy pasts, remember that whole drama with Danny Masterson? When Ashton and his wife Mila got absolutely dragged for defending him after those horrifying allegations came out? Like Ashton really had the audacity to write, Masterson had been nothing but a positive influence on him throughout his life. Over our 25-year relationship, I don't ever recall him lying to me. He's taught me about being direct and confronting issues in life and relationships head-on, resolving them and moving forward. Danny is a person that is consistently there for you when you need him. While I'm aware that the judgment has been cast as guilty on 2 counts of rape by force and the victims have a great desire for justice, I hope that my testament to his character is taken into consideration in sentencing. I can honestly say that no matter where we were or who we were with, I never saw my friend be anything other than the guy I have described. And then Mila jumped in too. She described Masterson as an amazing friend, confidant, and above all, an outstanding older brother figure to me. She even wrote, "His caring nature and ability to offer guidance have been instrumental in my growth both personally and professionally." But, oh my goodness, those letters didn't stay private for long. When they went public, fans were absolutely furious that they backed someone facing such serious accusations. The backlash was so intense, they had no choice but to hop on Instagram with an apology video.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that.
But wait, there's more. Let's talk about how Ashton was basically forced to step down from his anti-trafficking charity, Thorn. because of all his shady behavior and history. The heat just got too hot to handle. And honey, Diddy isn't even the only questionable friendship Ashton's been tied up in. Like, remember back in 2019 when he appeared on Hot Ones? Sean Evans tried to get the tea about Diddy's exclusive events, but Ashton shut that conversation down so fast. He changed the subject quicker than I changed my mind about going to the gym, leaving everyone wondering what he was trying to hide.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote, if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
And now let me tell you about what Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Dill just revealed, because whatever we thought we knew about Diddy and Ashton, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The conversation got really dark when the topic of actress Brittany Murphy came up. The interviewer pointed out something absolutely chilling: how Brittany died under the same mysterious circumstances as Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter.
Ashton Kutcher was also friends with Brittany Murphy, who also was friends with P. Diddy, who also died the same death as Kim Porter. Now, Ashton Kutcher as well also runs a child protection thing, I think it's called Fawn, where he's trying to save children. But we know now a lot of these people use this thing for child to actually not expose it, but to gain from their own benefit.
It's seriously spine-tingling that he brought up Brittany Murphy, because fans are starting to question everything about her death. She was found dead at just 32 years old. 32! While they officially said it was pneumonia, fans weren't buying it for a second. They knew something darker was happening behind the scenes. And then things got even more bizarre. Her husband, Simon Monjack, died just 5 months later, in the same house from the same cause: pneumonia. Like, what are the odds? Two perfectly healthy people gone within months of each other from the exact same thing. The conspiracy theories were everywhere. Some people blamed toxic mold, but others were convinced there was something way more sinister going on, like a massive cover-up. But here's where it gets really wild. Brittany Murphy's dad is absolutely convinced she was poisoned. He's not buying the official story at all, and honestly, more and more people are starting to question everything too. And just when you think it couldn't get any messier, here comes the biggest twist. The coroner who handled Brittany's autopsy, the same person who did Kim Porter's second autopsy, you know, Diddy's ex. Both deaths were ruled as pneumonia, but here's the tea. The first coroner who looked at Kim's case found suspicious toxins in her body, but for some mysterious reason, they were taken off the case after making those findings. Then the second coroner comes in with the pneumonia diagnosis, and right when the case started getting public attention, the first coroner mysteriously passed away under some very interesting circumstances. And then the connection to Ashton gets even juicier. According to Gene Dale, Brittany allegedly had an affair with Ashton while he was still married to Demi Moore.
I was around Ashton Kutcher and Diddy before, and they were speaking about Brittany Murphy. And I don't think I ever told this story, and I'm about to tell this story here. While he was married to Demi Moore, he was still sneaking around seeing Brittany Murphy. You understand? We were going to a Nets game, so we picked him up, and he was explaining to Diddy that every time he goes to Brittany's house, paparazzi always catches him or almost catch him coming out her apartment or coming out the building. And Diddy was telling him, that's either the doorman or your security. You know what I'm saying? And he was still married to Demi Moore at the time. So you could have something, you could be right. Because it's crazy how they said her and Kim and some other individual with them or around them all died of pneumonia and they were in perfect health.
But hold on to your seats because it gets even more disturbing. Brittany wasn't the only girlfriend of Ashton's who passed away under mysterious circumstances. He had another girlfriend who was brutally killed just minutes before he was supposed to arrive at her house for date night.
He's not guilty of this, but he arranged a date. He was late for that date. And when he got to the girl's house, he looked through the window. She was stabbed 47 times. The man ended up getting charged.
Now fans are absolutely losing it over how suspicious it is that Ashton had 2 girlfriends who died under such shady circumstances. And when you add his close friendship with Diddy and other questionable people in the industry, the whole thing becomes even more concerning. The comments are absolutely blowing up. People are saying things like, maybe it's time we look into Ashton Kutcher's human and child trafficking work, considering he's best buds with people like Diddy and Danny Masterson. Others are connecting even more dots, saying, Ashton Kutcher has a long history with P. Diddy, and I'd be willing to bet he's got more than a few skeletons in his closet. And the theories just keep coming. Another fan pointed out, P. Diddy had Ashton Kutcher at his party, but what makes it weird is their friendship with Brittany Murphy. Allegedly, she passed away from pneumonia, then they found drugs in her system, and then they said she was poisoned. Does this sound familiar to you? This whole situation is such a mess. The connections, the coincidences, the mysterious deaths. It's like something straight out of a thriller movie, except it's all happening in real life. And every time you think you've heard it all, another layer of this twisted story comes to light. This scandal is far from over, and I have a feeling we're only scratching the surface of what's really going on behind the scenes. The question is, how deep does this rabbit hole really go? And what other shocking revelations are waiting to come out? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this tea is hot and we need to discuss. And don't forget to check out this next video because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.